Hello, so I'm going to try and quickly get this video out because I've done a few takes on it and it keeps going wrong. I don't know, I got brain fog this morning and I'm having trouble getting my words out and thinking. But yeah, I want this video to be about how to help disabled people and how not to, and about how helpfulness and kindness can actually be a hindrance sometimes to us disabled people. I know that sounds really stupid. How can kindness be a bad thing? But take my sister for instance. She told me she's blind. She's been registered blind and she's been blind since birth. So you know, and because she's been blind since birth, she's grew up like it, so she doesn't know anything different. So she can get around quite good and whatnot. But over the past couple of years, she's been given a blind stick, one of the white canes. And she's been using that, but she said she don't like using it, and she stopped using it recently. And the reason why is because it makes her a target. She thinks it makes her a target, so, and obviously a target, she's become more of a target to nasty people. Like on some occasions, people have attempted to mug her because they've seen her blind stick and thought, she's vulnerable, she's not going to see us, we can just nick her shopping or nick her wallet or whatever, you know, and run off with it, and she won't be able to do a thing about it, and she won't be able to describe us to the police, you know, because she is blind. But other instances is when people have tried to help her, they've actually made things worse for her. There's one thing she told me. She was waiting at a crossing one evening and there weren't many cars, but she pressed the buzzer anyway and waited for the buzzer to go off before she crossed. And this is one of the times she was using her white stick, and she was stood there waiting for the buzzer, and before the buzzer could go off, a guy walked up behind her, grabbed her by the arm and started to drag her across the road. And she was trying to pull away from him, thinking, oh my god, what's he trying to do? Is he trying to mug me, or is he trying to rape me, or whatever? She was kind of scared for her life a little bit, and she was trying to pull away from him, and she went, look, can you let go of me? And he said, oh, what do you mean? He goes, I'm trying to help you across the road because you're blind. And she was like, I do not need your help, and at least say something before you grab me, and don't sneak up behind me. And he goes, oh, well, sorry, I was only trying to be helpful. There's no need for you to be rude to me. And he got in a huff and walked off. Now, she wasn't rude at all. She had a right to stand up for herself. She thought she was being attacked, you know. How that should have gone is the guy should have walked up to her and spoke before he grabbed her. He shouldn't have grabbed her at all, you know. He should have walked up to her and said, excuse me, would you like me to help you cross the road? Then waited for her to reply. If she replied with yes, he should have said, right, okay, I'll just take your arm then. Then he should have just gone slowly at her pace across the road with her to the other side. That's the way it should have gone. But no, he just walked up behind her, grabbed her, dragged her across the road. She didn't know what was happening, you know. That was a very bad way to do it. And yes, he may have had really good intentions. He was probably trying to be really helpful, but his helpfulness was just a hindrance, and it scared the bejesus out of my sister. So, you know, that's one instance where helpfulness has been bad. She's been in shops before and had arguments with shopkeepers because the way they treat her I mean, all shopkeepers are supposed to ask you if you want help, you know, shop assistance or whatever, especially in like clothes shops and stuff. And there was one instance where my sister was in a clothes shop, and I was with her at this time, I think, and my sister was looking at the clothes and the shop assistant was watching her, and my sister can see a little bit of light and shadow, I think. She could see a certain amount, not much, but a certain amount. And she was touching the clothes, she was pulling the clothes, getting them out, looking at them, you know, as you do when you're in a shop. You know, holding them like that and putting them up against herself to see if they'll fit and stuff. Right? Now, that whole thing was to do with touch with her. She wasn't so much looking at the clothes, it was all to do with touch. You know, how did the clothes feel? Is it a fabric that she likes? Because, you know, some fabrics are itchy, some of us like certain fabrics, some like, you know. And, you know, my sister wasn't too bothered about the colour. You know, she was obviously bothered about the size, and that's what sticking up against her was about, seeing if it would fit in that way. Because she can't see the label, the small writing on the label. And shop assistant walked up, and right from the get-go she was a bit narky. And I think she thought to herself, oh, look at this woman with a blind stick pretending to be blind. You know, and the woman goes, would you like some help? But my sister was like, oh yes, do you have this in this size? Whatnot. And the shop assistant was like, yeah, let me find it for you. And got the wrong size and gave it to my sister. And my sister put it up against us and goes, no, this is the wrong size. I asked for this size, I'm sorry, you've made a mistake there. You know, my sister was quite polite, and the shop assistant got all narky and was like, oh, well, I'll get you another one. Got her another one, and my sister tried it against herself and said, no, look, still the wrong size. So the shop assistant went off, got another one, and my sister had a look. This time it was too big, and my sister was like, it's the wrong size again. Look, I told you, this size. And the shop assistant got all funny and was like, well, how am I supposed to help you find what you want when you don't even know what you want yourself? And my sister said, I told you I want this item in this size. And the woman was like, you haven't told me what colour you want. And my sister went, well, I'm sorry, you can clearly see I've got a blind stick, I'm blind. You know, I've been blind since birth, colour doesn't mean anything to me. I don't really care what the colour is, you know, because I'm not going to see it. And she was like, oh, but, you know, you can't tell me what you want. And the shop assistant was giving her dirty looks and everything. And it was basically as if the shopkeeper was trying to test my sister to see if she was really blind. Kind of like, oh, I'll give her the wrong size. If she notices this, the wrong size, then she's not really blind and she's faking it. You know? I mean, making a mistake once, bringing the wrong size, fair enough, everyone makes mistakes. But doing it 3 or 4 times with the same item, that is just ridiculous, you know? So, you know, that's where my sister has had trouble there with shopkeepers. Me, I've had trouble with people trying to help me, not realise they're being a hindrance. You know, trying to, when I'm walking upstairs, people trying to help me walk upstairs, they see that I'm struggling, so they'll grab me by the arm and go, oh, I'm helping you upstairs, and then pull my arm. Of course, I don't move anywhere. My arm does though, my arm comes out of the socket. My shoulder dislocates, my wrist dislocates, sometimes my elbow will. All the muscles and tendons and everything rip. And they've caused more pain than anything. And it's took a couple of months to heal. And when I've screamed in pain after they've done this, they've kind of got a bit shirty at me and thought I was trying to fake being disabled. And I was like, no. And I've had to try and explain to them what they've done wrong. And sometimes they don't always stop to listen. They just get shitty at me and be like, oh, I was only trying to help. There's no need for you to be nasty to me. You know, it's like, no, you're the one that's been impatient and impolite. You know, you may have had good intentions, but those intentions were handled completely wrongly. You know, and there's times as well when people talk to me. I've had people talk to me like I'm a baby. They've noticed that I'm disabled, so they'll talk to me like I'm stupid. And that really annoys me, because it's really insulting, it's really degrading, and I do take offence to it. But when I meet a new person and they speak to me like that, I'll kind of let it slide for a little bit, because they don't know me yet. They don't realise that I can actually speak for myself and I'm not stupid, you know. So I'll conversate with them, and when they realise that I'm not stupid, they drop the stupid baby talk and they'll talk to me normally. But there have been some occasions when people don't do that. You know, I know people that I've known for years that I bump into nowadays, and they still talk to me like I'm a baby, like I'm stupid when I bump into them. And I try and explain to them, you know, why are you talking to me like that? You don't need to. And I try and explain, but then they get funny with me. Oh, well, I was just trying to be nice. You know, you've offended me now because you're being mean to me because I tried to be nice to you. Well, no, you're offending me because you're speaking to me like a bit of crap, like I'm a baby, like I'm stupid. You're speaking down to me. That is disgusting. You should never do that to another human being, you know. And it's just, and I can remember the first time in my life that kind of thing actually bothered me, and that was when I was a kid. I'd just come out of spinal surgery and I was in a wheelchair for a couple of months, and we had a social worker coming round to see what support they could give me and my mum. And the social worker arrived, my mum let her in, and she walked straight in and she did that whole thing, bent over as if she was bending over a baby's pram, and sort of grabbed my cheeks a little bit and was like coochie coo kind of thing. I was like 12 or 13 at this time, and I was so mortified and so horrified and thinking, why is this woman speaking to me like this? My mum also was mortified, and I could see in my mum's face that she was going to have it out with this woman. And I thought, no, this woman's doing it to me. I need to say something. I need to stand up for myself. You know, I'm deeply offended by this. I'm insulted. I feel like I'm being bullied. You know, and this woman's talking to me like I'm stupid, like, oh, you know, talking to me about school, and oh, you know, and using short small words and babyfying the words and stuff, like, oh, I bet you'll be glad to get back to school to see all your little friends, won't you? Oh, it's like, go away, fucking hell. You know. And I thought, no, I've got to say something. And I said very loudly, look, love. And this woman stood up, looked very shocked, was looking at me like, kind of thing, like, oh my god, she spoke, like, I didn't know she could speak, kind of thing. And I said, look, love, I've probably got a higher IQ than you, so would you kindly stop speaking to me like I am stupid? And then I pushed her aside and wheeled my wheelchair out into the garden and sat with my dogs for the rest of that visit, because I felt that the dogs were going to be better company and better conversation than this social worker. She was very impolite, but my mum, I could hear my mum, she went in the kitchen to make a cup of tea and close the door, and I sat outside the kitchen window in the garden and I could hear her laughing. And when the social worker had left, I wheeled myself back in, and my mum said to me, well done for that. And I said, for what? And she said, that woman, the way she spoke to you was uncalled for. You stuck up for yourself. I'm proud of you for that. You know, this woman spoke to you like you were a stupid child. No one should ever speak to you like that, and don't let them. Well done for doing that. And she goes, and also it was bloody hilarious. The look on her face, you know. And that was the first time I can remember anyone speaking like that to me and anyone treating me like that. I mean, all my life I've been treated differently because of my disability, and that's the thing. I don't want to be treated differently. I want to be respected for my differences, you know. I want people to respect that I'm perhaps a bit slower than they are. I don't want people to take that into account when they're dealing with me. You know, I'm not always mentally slower, even though I have learning difficulties. I'm not mentally slower. My brain works quite well. Yeah, I have a few learning difficulties. I have autism. My brain's wired slightly different. You know, I have social anxiety, social awkwardness and stuff. I do have a few issues with speech. They've got better with age, I think, but you know, I have a few issues with memory and a little bit of cognitive impairment because of the fibromyalgia. But I'm not stupid. I'm actually quite intelligent, not to toot my own horn. And I do not appreciate being spoken to like that. And that kind of thing has shaped my view of people, really. That experience with the social worker definitely shaped my view of social workers and my view of professional help. And for a long time I refused to get professional help because I was worried I was going to be treated like that. You know, and it's just, I don't like it when that happens. People need to learn how to treat disabled people, how to help them, when to help them. Don't just grab them and go. You know, they're not just a shopping bag that you can pick up and carry off. You know, they're not just an extra bit of baggage. Treat them with respect, you know, respect their differences. And yeah, so to reiterate, when trying to help a disabled person, ask them first if they need help. Wait for them to reply. Then ask them what is the best way to help them if you're not sure. Go at their pace. Yeah, and don't speak to disabled people like they're stupid or like they're children or babies, because that is degrading, insulting. And if a disabled person turns your help down, don't feel bad. They're not turning it down because they don't like you or whatever. They're just turning it down because they simply don't need the help, you know. Because we know our own bodies, we know our limits, we know what we can and can't do, and sometimes it may look like we're struggling a lot. but we actually enjoy the struggle, you know. Sometimes we enjoy the struggle. I know I do. Struggle makes me stronger, you know. I enjoy a challenge. Yeah, it might take me a long time to walk up a flight of stairs. I might have to stop and breathe and rest for a few minutes in between, you know. But eventually I'll get there, you know. I'll get to the top of the stairs eventually. And that's why I deliberately leave early. If I have to be somewhere and I know I'm going to have to do a lot of walking to get to the place or go up a lot of stairs, I'll make sure I'll get there early so I've got enough time to go at my own pace up the stairs or whatever, you know. So we're the best source, really. We know how to manage our disability. So if you're unsure, just ask the disabled person, you know. It's not rocket science. It's not difficult, you know. But yeah, I think I've gabbed on enough. But I'm going to quickly big up my sister's YouTube channel. I don't think she has any videos on there yet because she's new to YouTube. But I think she's working on making some videos for it. But her YouTube channel is called Jo Vision, and she's going to be making videos about her life with blindness and how she copes. And she's going to be trying to bust some myths about blindness and about what blind people can and can't do. Such as she's going to be doing some gaming videos because she's a gaming fan. So she's going to be showing you a few of those. She also does a little bit of cycling. Obviously not on roads or anything. But she enjoys riding her bike a little bit. She struggles a bit with it, but it's probably not safe that she do that. But, you know, she doesn't do it often, and it's just a little leisure thing that she does to enjoy. And yeah, she'll be just, I think she's on about making some videos with her GoPro cameras. She's going to strap them to herself and she's going to go out and about for the day with her blind stick, and she's going to show you what it's like to be a blind person for the day. That type of thing, like show you public transport, what it's like for a blind person on there, what it's like for a blind person in shops, doing shopping, talking to shop assistants. You know, all sorts of these things I've covered in these videos today. She's going to be showing for awareness in her videos. But yeah, also she's going to be doing videos about her charity work she does for Click Sergeant. So that's going to be quite cool. So yeah, check out Jo Vision. Click subscribe on her channel now, and click the little bell button or whatever so you're alerted when she posts her first video, because then you won't miss it. Also, I'm hoping to get her to come along and do some videos with me and do some collaboration videos, so that would be quite fun. But yeah, this has been a video about how to help disabled people and how not to help disabled people. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.